What's going on, guys? Corrosive Bullet here, and we just got a brand new content drop going on this week. The week right before New Year's, something like that. Anyway, Broly, Rising Battle Broly, just got a Zenkai, so we're gonna go over the details of that. We're gonna go over the events and the New Year's banner that's gonna be dropping at the end of this week. We're gonna be going over all of that and discussing our thoughts on each and every one. If you guys would like to see more content like this, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. Let me know in the comments below what your current grind is for Broly, Rising Battle Broly, and if you guys are going to go all the way with Z7ing him right off the bat. And let me know if you guys are going to summon on the New Year's Rising banner. So let's just jump right into it. So Broly, the free-to-play Rising Battle Broly, I think he was the first Rising Battle unit we've ever gotten about 2 years ago. So it's nice that we will be getting all the Rising Battle units will eventually get Zenkais at some point. So I'm very happy to see that. We're going to go over his base and his Zenkai stats, but I'm going to go with max peripherals here just because that's what I have him at. So before his Zenkai, he had 2.6 health, 261 strike, 238 blast, and his defenses were already pretty significant, all things considered, 172 and 168. With the Zenkai, he jumps up not too much, about 15,000 in strike, about 10,000 in health. His blast goes up like 8,000. Strike defense, his blast defense goes up considerably. Oh, I know, both defenses go up by 5. Okay, so he doesn't get that much of a substantial buff, and honestly, he didn't even really need it. He was pretty solid as a unit if you completely maxed him out by himself. It was just his kit was a little lackluster. So his stats though were always pretty decent. So good to see that they didn't really change that too much. They didn't make him overly ridiculous in terms of stats. Alright, so his main ability beforehand was Raging Power, draws the Ultimate Arts card, Angry Force next, restores health by 20, takes 25 timer counts. Now it just adds P by 20. Again, that's pretty standard for most units nowadays. Most main abilities give you key, so this is not anything too substantial, and this is actually a fine increase. I'm okay with this. Then Rising Power used to be 5% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts every time he uses a strike arts, and then additional 5 to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts if Goku or Vegeta was an enemy. It is now changed to an additional 10 to damage inflicted instead of 5, and it's now Saiyans instead of Goku and Vegeta. So this is actually pretty good, considering that he's going to be played on movies more than anything else. Maybe powerful opponent. So yeah, no, that's an okay increase. Chaining Power applies minus 20 to damage received to allied sagas from the movies for 10 timer counts, and then 20 to their damage inflicted for 15 when he is switched to standby. So this top one didn't change at all. That's still the same, which is a very underrated ability, by the way. Not many units give their allies damage protection, so this is actually kind of nice. And it goes from 20% to 25% instead. So his base kit gets a slight buff, nothing too crazy, which is not bad. But let's look at his Zenkai abilities. So at Zenkai 3, applies the following effect to self according to the number of timer counts elapsed with the current character. 5 counts elapsed does 20% to damage inflicted. 10 elapsed does 20% to strike damage. So he's getting 40 himself right here. So that's not too bad. On top of the 5% that he gets every time he uses a strike, on top of the 10% that he gets with Saiyans, On top, and then there's no damage buff there. So you're talking, as of right, well, we'll do damage calculations after the fact. But it affects when the character switches. So, if this gets canceled in any way, you could easily just switch him back out, switch him back in. So that's not bad. And then his Zenkai 6 ability, his Ultimate Foe, applies the following effect to self when this character enters the battlefield. 20% to strike damage inflicted for 20 timer counts. Increases draw art speed by 1 for only 10 timer counts. That kind of sucks, but I'm pretty sure, I don't usually play sagas, but I'm pretty sure movies has other characters that have card draw speed, so I don't think that's the worst scenario. And then 40% to own key recovery for 20 timer counts. Alright, so he's getting what? 20, 40, 60, 85. Oh, that's for allies, so that's not him. Well, actually, it could apply to him, actually. So, 85, and then 95, and then 100. So his kit basically gives him almost about 100% damage increase, which is actually pretty good. So, very solid for a free-to-play unit, guys. Definitely won't complain about that. So, if we look at his base stuff, so his Angry Shout special move. It applies attribute upgrade minus 50 to enemy sustained damage cut effects when changing cover to self for 25% for 25 timer counts. That goes up to 100. That's pretty good. That's actually that's a really big significant buff to that. I guess they had to beef him up in some way, right? Initially, his special skill was 20% to strike damage inflicted for 20 counts. Inflicts enemies with plus 20 to blast damage received for 15. And that gets him bumped up to 20% to 20. That stayed the same. And now it's damage received as opposed to blast damage. So that's a good buff too. That's actually really good. And then his Angry Force, his ultimate skill, 20% chance to inflict feint on hit, has blast armor, is now plus 30% to ultimate damage inflicted for 3 timer counts upon activation, 20% to inflict fits. Okay, so all in all, his kit doesn't get too much of an increase. It's a decent buff. It's a really good buff, especially with his Zenkai effects. His standard buff is actually not all that bad. Which is fine. But where he really shines, I think, is with his cards. His cards give him a lot more to work with, and there's a lot more going on with his special skill, his special move, his ultimate skill. Like these are like very, very good. So all in all, very solid unit. Definitely worth grinding out, guys. It's not. I would say, in terms of the free-to-play units. I would say that Nappa, EX Nappa, EX Frieza, and this Broly are worth investing your time and resources into maxing out. So definitely do that. His Zenkai ability, though, is red in sagas. They're both red in sagas. That makes sense. That's in line with what they normally do. So 25% to his strike buffs, and then 20 to his blast. Not bad at all. He still gets that 28% sagas from the movie strike attack buffer. So, all in all, this guy's going to be really, really good. So, yeah. If you have Gogeta Zenkai to Z7, he will also take part in this, I believe, too. So, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Okay. Story events. Not a whole lot going on this week. We got the raid coming in on the 30th? 31st. So it's 6 a.m. on New Year's Eve, Eastern Standard Time, is when this banner will go live. Your best bet is to run a God Key Fusion Warrior Sagas movie. So if you have Gogeta Blue, Definitely use him to clear all of these. I don't think there's we'll have to look at the missions. I don't know why these are all here. Here we go. So the New Year raid just completed 10 times. If you complete the raid 10 times, you will get 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. You'll get 15 of these medals, which will be enough to get you the 1000 CC that the exchange shop will offer you. So definitely consider doing that. Then the Broly event got revamped. The Broly event combined both the original series Broly and the Super Saiyan Broly events together. So it's not you don't have to grind out as much. There's one of the missions gives you 500 CC and 500 Rising Battle power from this. So definitely take that into consideration when you're going through and doing these. Here's your extra drops, and it's 5 standard chapters, 3 EX chapters. There's no hard mode from my understanding. So if you just go through all of this and then do the awakening battle, the bonus battle, and the challenge battle, you guys should get some decent rewards from completing all of that. Make sure you're completing all the challenges for that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much all for that. And then we got a surprise banner. Now, not a surprise banner. We got this for the past 2 years. Rising Battle or New Year's Rising banners coming back this year. The difference, though, and I believe this is what Toshi was talking about in the videos and stuff. I'm pretty sure this is what he was talking about, or what they were talking about in the news when they were talking about the about values and banners, because this is worth your value. It is a 3-time only banner. You spend 1,000 crystals each. You are guaranteed 1 Legends Limited in this summon per pull. So you can get 3, potentially at least 3 units. You'll get potentially at least 3 units just by doing this. And the pool is actually really good. Majin Vegeta's in here. Vegito Blue's in here. Frieza's in here. Piccolo's here. Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Basically every LF is in here, except for the newest ones that came out. So, especially if you're a new player, I would highly recommend you guys go deep on this banner. Everyone should go in on this banner, but if you're a new player, definitely do this. Definitely do this, because it's all Sparkings, and you're guaranteed at least 3 Legends Limited characters. So definitely consider doing that. You also got Goku Black, Perfect Form Cell, Champa, Bergamo. You got all the good hybrid Saiyans in here. You got Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, which is really good. Vados. Is there no Basil? There is Basil. Okay, so yep, you got all the doggos. You got all the latest movies. You get the 2nd anniversary units in here. Very, very solid banner, guys. 100% solid banner. There's not a whole lot of filler characters. I think that in terms of units that are bad, I mean, Tapion isn't all that great anymore. This Frieza isn't all that great. Bojack is really starting to show his age. That's more or less it. I mean, GT obviously is very underrepresented right now, so getting anything GT related is not necessarily a good thing, but if you didn't have them, you'll at least have them. And then, as I said, like it's all Sparking units. So the fact that there's no Sparking units from like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, this is a very solid banner. Very, very solid banner. So definitely consider doing that. I believe there was a new equipment that was taken out as well. I don't usually cover equipment, so let me see if I can find it. Kind of hard to pin it out, but I think there's a new equipment that coincides with the raid, if I recall. So keep an eye out for that. Oh, there it is. I found it. So we got this equipment slot here. It is for Sagas from the Movies, Powerful Opponent. So if you're running the all Broly team, if you are running the all Broly team, this is going to be a very good one to have for all your units. But it's base strike attack, base strike defense, and another base strike attack, 15, 15, and 18%. This is a pretty decent equip. Would definitely consider doing that. But outside of that, and then last but not least, let's check missions again, just to make sure that we're not missing anything. Yeah, so you got the new raid. I already showed you guys that one. We got the goodbye 2020 missions. It's basically the same thing that we've been doing. 200cc, lots of those free tickets, a lot of those 40 million medals. Then there's also the revamped Broly missions. You get 500 DC from the missions. And then obviously tickets and energy and what from that. Some souls for that for Broly. And hit 500 Zenkai souls, or Zenkai awakenings for Broly as well. So that is really going to be it. Like I said, guys, not a whole lot going on here, but there is going to be some hype stuff happening over the course of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So definitely do the raid when it comes out. Definitely consider summoning on that New Year's banner, as that is definitely going to be worth your value. And take your time Zenkai and Broly. And with that said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.